Hey everybody, welcome to HBCU Game Day. I'm Tali Carr, Atlanta Studios, and we are joined now by a couple of HBCU alums. They've been getting it done on the field, but on the sidelines, behind the scenes with the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking to Jakeen Ashford. She's with the Falcons. She's over choreography with the cheerleading squad. And Chateau Hendricks, who's the director of cheerleading for the Falcons as well. So Jakeen is Tennessee State. She's TSU in the house, and Chateau is FAMU. So you already know what's happening there. You know, the Rattlers will strike and strike and strike again. So we'll give her all of that here this afternoon. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, you got a lot of exciting things going on, but let's give people a little background and a little context. Janine, we'll just start with you. We'll move from left to right on the screen. How do you make it professionally? Cheerleading, dance, choreography. There's so many talented people out there. Not everyone could do it. What's your story? How did you make it?
Wow. If I could write a book, well, started at a very young age dancing and cheering. Went to Tennessee State. I was a majorette in the band. I was a sophisticated lady with the aristocratic bands. And that really gave me the experience of performing in front of thousands of people and just getting that under my belt. And then I went on to audition for the Tennessee Titans cheerleaders, cheered there for 2 years, moved to Atlanta to pursue a career in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm a chemist at a pharmaceutical company, lab manager. So I do that during the day. And at night, I made the cheerleading team and I cheered for 4 seasons. And coaching opportunity became available and I moved on to coaching. But I would say it took so many years of dedication. You don't wake up one day and decide you want to be a professional cheerleader or dancer. You got to put the time in. You have to put the work in. And you have to be able to balance your personal life as well as cheer and dance because it's time consuming. It takes a lot of dedication, but if you have strong will and willing to put the time in, you can make it.
Okay, let's make sure everybody does not have to rewind. Yes, she is a chemist as well. So you can do multiple things in your life that may seem like they're on total opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, dance, choreography, and chemistry. They can go together.
Absolutely. I tell people I use both sides of my brain. And it's really a requirement. We want people on our team who are well-rounded. We always say cheerleading should be the icing on your cake, not your cake. And it takes time, of course, to balance both, but you can fulfill your dreams, whatever your career goals are, and cheer at the same time.
All right, Chateau Hendricks joining us as well. We've already established no relation to Jimi Hendrix, but she does have the gift of the arts. Chateau, coming out of FAMU, making your way to be the director of cheerleading with the Falcons. That's got to be an interesting journey for you as well.
Absolutely. Like Jakeen, I started cheering in high school and attended FAM. I actually tried out for the FAMU team my senior year of high school and did not make it. But someone, I'm not sure what happened, ended up not continuing on. And so I was contacted and became, asked to be on the team. And the rest was history. So I cheered all 3 years at FAM, graduated from FAM and moved to Atlanta, took a year off without dancing or cheering. And it was just the weirdest thing ever. I moved to Atlanta to go to grad school at Clark. So took that first year, got the first year under my belt and was like, gosh, I miss, cheerleading, and ran into an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. And, she invited me to the audition and I came out to a prep class and it was very helpful. And I got to know more about the program and thought, you know what, I think I want to do this. That was 24 years ago. And so I cheered for 6 seasons. And after my 6th season, I resigned or retired, as we said. And the opportunity to become the coordinator at that time came open. And so I've been coaching the team for the past 18 years. Yeah.
Wow. So what is that experience like? To be behind the scenes, so to speak, but you have ladies coming in and out each year. You're making an impact on their life. You're making sure that they do their job and make sure all of that falls in line as well. And you balance a whole different set of skills in what we'll call your day job. You're a counselor, school counselor. So that's quite a bit on your plate for the last 18.
Absolutely. I call it my cheer world coming together. So as a school counselor, you're constantly advising kids, but really more so cheering them on, reminding them that they can do this, helping them to set goals. And as a cheerleader or a cheer coach, encouraging your dancers, or as a cheerleader, encouraging your team to do their best. So it really it meshes well, believe it or not. It has really worked well with the design for my life. I call myself cheer doc. I have my doctorate in psychology, but again, still just loving to promote positive energy, just great performance, having a good time, and encouraging and uplifting others has really come together for me.
Wow, there's so much excellence on this call right now. We got a PhD, we got a chemist. You guys are involved with the cheering and dance at the highest level with the NFL. I mean, I'm underqualified here. I've got to figure something out. Jakeen, with choreography, and I can't dance a lick. God knows.
Everybody can dance. It may be your own style.
Don't make me bring my wife in here. Even when I dance at home, it's like stop the press, needle across the record. It usually ends with the statement, "What is that?" This is not about me. Let me ask you this. With so many new dances, and a lot of them originate right here in Atlanta, how do you incorporate what's happening in the streets, popular culture, with what ultimately becomes the end product?
Yes, well, thank God for social media and YouTube. It has really transformed the world of choreography, and we have a very diverse group of men and women on our team. So I pull from them a lot of times and see what they like. I follow a lot of different choreographers in the industry because it's constantly changing. And that's one thing that our organization wants to make sure is that we are on the cutting edge of what's hot and what's new and fresh. So I lean on social media a lot just to get inspiration. And I say that we kind of have our own style in Atlanta compared to other NFL teams. So I like to put our Atlanta flair on everything. But definitely social media has been a lifesaver.
I'm curious, can you start the season with a dance or a routine and it be played out and old by the end of the season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like the whip and the nay-nay and all, like we wanted to do all those fun things, but after you hear that song the millionth time, it's kind of played out. So one thing that I've kind of done is, it's a little trade secret, is you can take the same routine and put it to new music and no one knows it's the same routine. So I try to get creative with the music to make things fresh. But yeah, and because we only have 10 home games, pretty much every routine we do is original per game. So we don't do a lot of repeats throughout the year.
Wow, that's amazing. Chateau, for people who are a part of the cheer program, like what are the expectations? Looking from afar, you always hear about the rules, like don't fraternize. And, we kind of think of them as smile, dance, and that's what we see from the 10,000 foot view. What are your expectations? What do you hope people get out of the program, like community engagement, personal development? Like what are some of those things?
Say the key is professionalism. As Jakeen said, we want Falcons cheerleading to be the icing on your cake. We found that individuals that tend to have their own thing going on and then they add AFC to it, which is Atlanta Falcons Cheerleading, it just makes them an even better presentation of our brand, I'll say. So one thing that we love to do is mentor the individuals that come through our program. Most of them are between the ages of 18 and up, and we know between 18 and 30 plus were those years that we were finding ourselves. So we really make ourselves available for them, not just as coaches, but as mentors as well. And so we want them to be committed and dedicated. Performing, as Jakeen said, we only have 10 home games. So that's about 10% of the commitment of being an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. The other 90%, they're in the community, they're engaging our fans, they're attending corporate events, and they're representing our brand as ambassadors. So just the professionalism, being on time, carrying themselves well, representing what it means to be a wow woman or a wow man. That means that, hey, I have this awesome career, or I'm in school working towards an awesome career, and I still have my love for performing at the professional level.
All right, speaking with Chateau Hendricks, Director of Cheerleading for the Atlanta Falcons, AFC. How many alumni of HBCU cheer from the variety of schools, maybe even people who were in the band or, on the dance squads across the different schools? How many of those come through your program?
I would say a lot. We've had, of course, FAMU, TSU, North Carolina A&T, Grambling, Alabama State, Albany State, Bethune-Cookman College, so many HBCU grads, and we want to invite more to audition. I know when I auditioned to be an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader, I was not familiar with professional cheerleading, maybe familiar with Dallas Cowboys, but they're really, when I cheered at FAM, I really didn't think, okay, I'm going to keep this going once I graduate from college. I didn't know there was an outlet for it. So whenever we can, we definitely want to encourage not only our HBCU students, but all college students. This is a pathway for you, or what you're currently doing is a pathway into the professional league of cheerleading, which is a very great experience.
Jakeen, we talking with Jakeen Ashford here. She's Director of Choreography with AFC, Tennessee State grad. Jakeen, there's different styles depending on the region of HBCUs, especially with cheer squads. You have some that are stomp and shake, and you have some that are more competition style and tumblers. Are there advantages or disadvantages to different styles if you're looking to take those skills to the level beyond college?
Mm-hmm. But one thing that I've seen, and I've really kept track of what's going on with HBCU dance teams, majorettes, cheerleading squads, is they have really increased their level of technique and style and training that's required, which is great to see. So for a lot of the teams, it's a great transition from what they're already doing at their particular schools into what we do, because there is a certain level of training that's required. You have to have, certain dance skills. So a lot of the HBCU teams are falling right in line with a good path to NFL cheerleading. But at the end of the day, performing is performing, and being able to learn choreography is a skill in itself. So no matter what style you come from, whatever team you come from, if you can pick up choreography and learn a different style easily, you can transition right into what we do, because we teach them everything they need to know. We don't expect anyone to come in and automatically pick up our style, but if you're able to learn, and a lot of these teams have really advanced with their skill levels. So it's a great transition to us. I'm really excited to see what's going on with the HBCUs now.
Okay, real quick, can you go back and sometimes watch an HBCU squad and pick up something that you could apply with AFC?
Oh, absolutely. They are and they have a lot of freedom that a lot of maybe other schools or teams don't have. They are so creative now. And they have really upped the game as far as dancing and cheerleading goes. And I enjoy watching it. We have our our Honda Battle of Dance here. I make sure I go every year so that I can see the different teams. But the creativity level is just off the charts.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. Chateau, we have tryouts coming up to be an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. Tell us all about that for anyone who might be interested.
Absolutely. We are currently accepting applications and videos to perform for the Atlanta Falcons cheerleaders. If you visit our website at www.atlantafalcons.com/cheerleaders. All the information is there. Now, although our audition process will not end, or we won't cut off the acceptance of applications until June 12th, we are hosting prep classes. And that is a great way to not only find out about our program, but to see our dance style and meet some of our cheerleaders. So I, completely encourage individuals to check out our prep classes as well. And as far as the choreography, Jaquine, do you want to talk about the video submission process? We have, thanks to COVID, we have a hybrid process this year. So our process begins online and then it will end in person.
Yeah, so, and I think it's a real advantage to anyone who wants to audition, because we're not expecting you to learn our choreography in the first round. You're sending a video of what you do best, whatever style you come from, whether it's jazz, hip hop, tap, whatever is your best dance. You send that in for a minute clip of whatever you have to offer that's the best that you can present. And we take that and we'll judge it, and those people will move on to the next round. But it's really an opportunity for us to get to know them. They get to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about them, and then move right into their dance skills.
Okay, help us out here. Tell us any best practices or tips about your submission, like how long should it be? What are you looking for? Maybe what are some things definitely you don't want to put in? Like, I'm the type of guy, I need to know what not to do so I can kind of set my boundaries. How would you guide people on their submission?
I would say at the end of the day, you want something that's entertaining. You want something that you do well, even if it's not the most intricate, the most difficult, something that shows your personality. We're going to be looking at hundreds of videos. So you want something that's going to catch the judge's eye. Of course, you want the lighting to be well. You want the video quality to be well, of course. But at the end of the day, you want something to where the judges are going to look and say, oh, I remember so-and-so. They did that great 8 count, or they did that great trick, or they tumbled, or they did, there's really no limit on what they can do for the video, as long as it's within, and I think the website will say exactly the parameters of the length of time and the background and that kind of thing. But you just want something that's memorable.
And I will go back to professionalism. So we, as I said, promote our cheerleaders as professionals. And so you want to make sure the apparel is in line with what the request speaks for. We are not looking for tons of cleavage out, just inappropriate apparel. We want you to follow the guidelines, and we will have some examples of what we're looking for. So just think professional, fun. We see our cheerleaders as athletes and professional.
All right, awesome. Well, best of luck with the tryouts, and you ladies are just so phenomenal. A chemist, a PhD, a school counselor, director of choreography, director of cheerleading, and most importantly, Tennessee State and FAMU. We just got the old Atlanta classic right here.
That's right.
Yes, yes. And I brag on my experience at FAMU all the time because it has truly prepared me for where I am today. I mean, back to performing and choreographing and doing different things that I do now, I can pull from my experience from FAMU and even my classmates from FAMU. So I always say those were the best 3 years of my life, somewhat. It was a great experience.
Awesome. Well, Jaquine Ashford, Chateau Hendricks, thank you so much for joining us here at HBCU Game Day. Best of luck in the future. We'll be looking out for your men and your ladies next football season.
Thank you for having us.